This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where Zetavo soybeans are transforming the approach to soybean seed decision-making with trailblazing innovation and quality without compromise. I'm Joe Everett. A couple quick notes on the calendar. Powered by soy biodiesel, we will be broadcasting from Progressive Crop Solutions today ahead of their customer appreciation meeting. Visit progressivecrops.com to find out all the details. Then join us at the BG Tractor Pulls on Wednesday, thanks to Nature's Premium Liquid Fertilizers since 1946. Then visit the Great Darke County Fair August 21st through the 29th in Greenville, Ohio. Find the full schedule of events at darkecountyfair.com. Then our next monthly check-in at Farm Credit Mid-America will be on Thursday, August 20th. Tune in as we discuss the latest Farm Credit Mid-America news and updates. Now let's take a look at your agricultural news headlines. Fertilizer prices are expected to stay elevated through 2028. Then we learn how Young's Jersey Dairy blends agritourism, family fun, and tradition. Then we learn how crops are holding up in this week's Ohio Crop Progress Report. And the Ohio State Fair welcomes the 2026 Hall of Fame inductees. That's all coming up in today's news feed, which is delivered to you by Ebert's Field Seeds. Proven local seed performance to Ohio farmers. It's time to start planting Ebert's. Call us at 937-473-2521 or visit online at ebertseeds.com. Fertilizer prices could stay elevated for several more years, according to a new report from CoBank. The report says prices are expected to remain above pre-Iran war levels through 2028, with Middle East instability, tight supplies, and limited phosphate availability continuing to pressure the market. The region supplies more than 60 million tons of fertilizer and raw materials each year, with much of that moving through the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. farmers are responding by using more soil testing, variable rate applications, and precision nutrient management. Some are cutting phosphate and potash applications by 10 to 15% while holding nitrogen rates steady to protect yields. Now we check in with Brianna Smith.
Young's Jersey Dairy in Yellow Springs has grown from a family dairy farm into one of Ohio's best-known agritourism destinations. While Young's Jersey Dairy has changed significantly through the years, the family continues to keep agriculture at the heart of the experience. Let's hear from John Young, the fourth generation and self-proclaimed CIEIO.
The farm officially started legally in the 40s, and we started selling things directly to the public in the 50s. We started making milk we started selling milk straight to the public during that time, and then we started making ice cream in the early 80s. So we've been doing ice cream for almost 50 years. So in the 90s, we decided that Young's just wasn't a destination where people came to get milk or get ice cream or get cheese. They wanted to spend some time on the farm. So what we decided was that they needed some entertainment. So my dad and my uncle went to a Disney Institute and created our mission statement, which is we create fun for our customers.
Learn more about Young's Jersey Dairy online today at ohioagnet.com. Reporting for Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet, I'm Brianna Smith.
Hey, thanks, Brianna. Despite rain-soaked conditions, Ohio crops pushed ahead this past week in the Ohio Crop Progress Report. Today's update is sponsored by Relentless Ag, every acre at peak performance. Learn more at relentlessag.com. Corn silking has reached 100%, ahead of last week's 95% and ahead of the 97% 5-year average. Corn reaching the dough stage is at 81%, above the 68% average. Corn reaching dent stage is now at 15%, below the 17% average. As we turn to soybeans, blooming reached 100% ahead of the 95% last week and the 95% average. Soybean setting pods has reached 89% ahead of last week's 71% and above the 81% 5-year average. To learn more, you can find the full report today at ohioagnet.com. The Ohio State Fair Hall of Fame has welcomed the 2026 class with 4 new inductees recognized for their contributions to the fair. This year's class includes longtime draft horse supporter Beth Berger, American Dairy Association Mideast Jenny Crabtree, Ohio Department of Agriculture Chief Amusement Ride Inspector Ron Dean, and Governor Mike DeWine and First Lady Fran DeWine. The Hall of Fame also awarded 5 scholarships to young Ohioans involved in the junior fair, livestock, band, and choir programs. Since the Hall of Fame began in 1976, more than 200 people have been recognized for helping make the Ohio State Fair one of the premier fairs in the country. To learn more, you can find this full article today at ohioagnet.com. Now we learn more about some PFR research here in the Buckeye State. Here's Dusty Sonnenberg.
Joining me today is Jarrett Chester. Jarrett is a PFR agronomy data and information specialist with Beck's. Jarrett, it's a busy time of year for you folks. Obviously, a lot of things ever since the crop went in the ground are busy, but Becknology Day is a big talk of the industry, and that's coming up here August 27, 28, and 29. I think what maybe a lot of folks don't realize, though, here in Ohio, there's a lot of research that goes on in support of the PFR program, and you oversee a lot of that. Tell us more.
Yeah, so we here at London, the Beck family owns about 300 acres. We typically have right around 50 different studies between corn and soybeans. We'll test anywhere from 4 to 5 different treatments or products within each study. So we look at a lot of different things each year. Some of the highlights is we've had farmers in this summer and showing them out in the plots. Some of the top ones have been fungicide. This year, we're looking at generic versus name brand fungicide options. One of the big questions out there is what's the best bang for our buck right now? And in terms of where should we be prioritizing our input dollars? And we know, fungicide, there's definitely a difference in terms of products on the market and the price tag that comes with them. So the newer study that we're looking at in terms of what is, the best ROI, are we better off with some of these name brand higher cost products that maybe carry a little longer residual, or can we get away with maybe a generic or a lower cost fungicide? So that's a new one that's been popular. Another one that's been really popular this year is actually cover crops. We continue to look at some cover crops on the farm ahead of corn and ahead of beans. And so we're looking at different things such as termination timing. Should we terminate that cover crop ahead of planting, after planting, seeding rates of the cover crop? So how thick do we need to be planting that cover crop? And so we talked through just a lot of different learnings we've had in terms of best way to establish them, best way to terminate them, feeding our corn crop, try and get it going up and effective, especially if we're planting into a cover crop.
My guest again today has been Jarrett Chester. He is PFR Agronomy Data and Information Specialist with Beck's, talking about the upcoming Becknology Days and some of the practical farm research being done here in the Buckeye State. Reporting for the Ohio AgNet, I'm Dusty Sonnenberg.
Hey, thanks, Dusty. Now for today's weather, which is brought to you by Seed Genetics Direct, the number one fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company. Here's Ryan Martin.
We've got a dry Tuesday for a large part of Ohio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. No moisture across the Buckeye State today. But overnight tonight into tomorrow, we see some scattered showers streaking across lower Michigan, northern Indiana, coming right into our state. And then through the balance of your Wednesday and through Thursday, that moisture settles southward across the entire state. I think we have to pencil in 1/4 to 1 inch of precipitation here. And we may see that action linger even into early Friday morning down near the Ohio River in extreme south central Ohio. I don't think it lingers anywhere else. The balance of Friday should turn out mostly dry. And then for the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, we've got a cutoff low that just circulates over Lake Ontario, western New York, Lake Erie areas, and that's going to circulate moisture down through on-again, off-again showers for both Saturday and Sunday. Early next week, we dry down a little bit, but temperatures also back off. Humidity values stay elevated. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Coming up, Ty Higgins gets an update with the FSA director next here on the Ohio AgNet.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust. I'm Ty Higgins, visiting with the director of FSA here in Ohio, Director Don Jones. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you. Glad to be back.
You come into FSA as a lot of talks being made about changes and modernizations and streamlining. What does that look like if a farmer wants to know more about where that office and where the structure might be heading?
So, that was something, and I appreciate you asking that, Ty, because whenever I first came on board a year ago in June, Administrator Bill Beam he said, goal number one, we are going to modernize the Farm Service Agency. And it's something that a lot of my staff who are veteran staff members, they've been around for 20 plus years, and they said, we've been hearing that for a long time, and nothing has ever happened. This administration has made it a priority, and we've got a lot of things going. We have the One Farmer, One File that Secretary Rollins has talked a little bit about from time to time. We've talked about login.gov. That's a platform that has been in existence that other government agencies are using. That allows us to be able to get information out very quickly and accurately. Those are just two examples. But when I talked about modernization this morning, we are looking how we are going to start doing crop reporting and acreage reporting. We're still printing off maps and getting out the highlighter or a marker, and we're doing maps that way. And we do have some capabilities on the computer, but we've got some stuff coming that's going to modernize that, and it's going to make it more efficient, where we can incorporate the information from the combine, from a Green Star or whatever type of precision ag program that a farmer's using. We're going to be able to take that and incorporate it right in and put it in their file and save them from maybe having to make a trip in. So that is one thing. And then we're modernizing our loan structure and program as well. Ohio leads the country in guaranteed loans. We're very proud of that fact. And we have some great lending partners that we work with. Ag Credit, Farm Credit, Mid-America, but also a lot of our local community banks, and that a lot of our local farmers work with, and some set in boards on their board or whatever. But we have agreements with those banks, and we work with them to help them guarantee loans for people that are maybe borrowing money, and the bank just doesn't maybe have the whole capability to do it. So in that program, we're still using a paper pencil application. If you want to file today, you got to fill out a paper application. Now you can file some of it online, but we're going to a complete online program. And someone says, what if I don't do online? We'll be able to help you do that in the offices. But we are trying to make the best use of our time, the best use of the farmer's time, so that we're not spending hours upon hours sitting in an office, doing things that we've been doing the same way for the last 40 years.
Well, disaster assistance, loans, environmental programs, a lot falls under the purview for Director Jones and the FSA office here in Ohio. If someone wants to find out more about anything we talked about, what's the best place to go?
Go to fsa.gov and then go to our office locator, and they can type in their zip code or town, and it'll take them to where the closest FSA office is. We have 66 offices here in Ohio, serving all 88 counties, and again, it's something that we want people to sign up for our electronic newsletters. They come out, we send them out once a month from the state office and also from our county offices with reminders about upcoming deadlines, programs, whatever loan rates, because our loan rates change every month. So there's a lot of information. Sign up for our free electronic newsletters, and but go to fsa.org and then look for your county and go to Ohio, obviously.
That's Don Jones. He's director of Ohio FSA. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
Hey, thanks, Ty. It's now time for today's market analysis, which is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company in Upper Sandusky. Open to receive soybeans starting September 1st. Ohio farmers plan to get your RFID tag the week of August 24th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, call 419-731-7100. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished mixed to mostly higher to start this week. Yesterday we saw the bean market up in a big way, and corn market followed beans, and then we actually had the wheat markets not doing a whole heck of a lot. Yesterday the stories were, out of the gate, the stories were what's going on with the wheat market. Russia, Black Sea talking points, still a big part of the forecast for exports going forward. Canadian disease pressures reaching the highest they've been in 10 years. We did have December corn testing a significant resistance level, and soybeans for November testing 1210. Overall, though, probably the biggest story yesterday outside of weekly export inspections, which were good, was the NOPA crush report that for July set a record, but it was well under the average trade guess. Kind of a mixed bag there, but there was nothing stopping the beans yesterday. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a look at your overnight trade brought to you by FS Envision and High Soy, seed made for this ground. Learn more at fsseeds.com/Ohio. September corn, $4.66, up a penny. September soybeans, $12.05.5, up 4.5, and September wheat, $6.74.5, down a quarter. As we turn to livestock, August live cattle, $224.55, up 92 cents, and October lean hogs, $81.72, down 2 cents. This is the Ohio AgNet.